Hey, Kelly. So I am
David.
so excited. Today we have with us the fabulous Tatiana Keegan. Tatiana,
Hi.
how are you?
Oh, great. Good morning.
Good
Good morning.
morning.
Good
Hi.
morning. So
So
excited.
some of you have seen Tatiana before because Tatiana is a friend of our show and she's been sharing a number of exercise tips for dancers. And we've mentioned in a couple of episodes that we'd really like to have Tatiana on the program, and it's finally happened. Here she is. So, Tatiana, I'd like to start by asking, how the heck did you get started in dance?
I was chosen. I think dancing chose me from very beginning when I was born. Because when I was about 7 years old, I started doing rhythmic gymnastics. And rhythmic gymnastics, besides being very flexible and manipulating all this ball and a hoop, you dance with the music. And I always knew that's what I want to do. And then I was in the Russian folk group where I became right away solo dancer at age of 9, I guess. But then by 14, in gymnastics, you lose your flexibility and you have to choose where else you're going to go. So then ballroom dancing just popped up. One friend of mine said to me, hey, there is some audition for ballroom dancing and you don't need to bring a partner with you. You just can show up and just show what you can do. So that's what I did. I showed up and it was already late. The audition was over because by the time I found my way, it was over. And I come to the person who was holding this audition and I said, oh, I'm sorry, I'm late. He goes, well, if you're late now, you're always going to be late. So then that's it. You're
Oh
done.
man.
And yeah, it was tough. And I said, but I promise, give me a chance. I just want to try. And he goes, all right, well, tomorrow is going to be a group class. Pay 3 rubles for that class. And you can show up and just take this class. So, but that was it. So I really didn't go through audition. And that's what I did. Next day, I brought 3 rubles. And there was a big class, almost all the girls, as always, and 2 boys who were like eating boogers there. So then we started, we were doing cha-cha-cha. And I thought I was amazing with my Cuban motion, but I did look funny. Now when I look back, I realized that was funny, but I thought I was doing a lot of Cuban motion. I'm moving everything.
Right. You thought you were the star, right? Moving
Yes,
everything
I
you
thought
could.
it was, oh, look, it's moving, but you don't know if you move in the right direction. It's moving. And then by the end of the class, actually the person who was running this class, not the owner of this club, but one of the girls, and she came to me and she goes, we would like to give you a partner. Are you interested joining our main club where we have all couples and we're all getting ready for competitions? And I said, yes. So that's how it started. So really, it started almost right away. And next day I came and there was a huge group of kids and they assigned me a partner only for 3 months. Because this partner, whoever came new and didn't know how to dance, had to be mix and match with the people who already were dancing for a while. So they could help us. And so I got a partner who was already dancing for a long time. His name is Boris. Boris, of course.
Yeah, of course.
And in the 3 months, we had a competition. So we're competing in 10 dances, 5 Latin, 5 standard, and we won. So
nice.
So my first winning was 3 months after I started. So I got hooked. And it wasn't about results, really. It was more about, I had a calling. I knew that that's what I always wanted to do because music and moving my body was just making me so happy that I felt like I am somewhere else in the universe and nothing matters anymore.
So I had heard that after that you specialized for a while in standard. Is that right?
Yes, I did actually. I did do 10 dances because you required.
Mhm.
growing up in Soviet Union that time. And so you have to do 5 and 5. Well, actually, we had 15 dances. We also had a Soviet program. So you had to do 5 dances in Soviet program, like polka, quadrille. Well, anyway, so this whole
Oh, wow, that's really cool.
yeah, folk. So when you go to the competition, instead of you dancing 15 dances and you're required, then you have to have 3 different costumes for each program.
Oh, interesting.
But eventually they dropped it because it was a little too much. Competitions were too long, and for us it was just too much pressure. So they dropped it, and we stayed with 10 dances. But yes, I was a Russian national champion in 10 dances in amateur before I came to America. So, yeah, go ahead.
So tell us about that. What brought you to America?
Nothing too exciting. I was getting divorced. I was getting divorced, and my ex-husband that time didn't know how to bring me back. So he decided if we can come to America, that might change our relationship. He's going to get a little better. And so I gave him another chance. So my teacher, Talat and Marina Tarsinov, they came to America first. They bought a franchise, Fred Astaire franchise. And so they said, well, we need good teachers and we need good dancers in our studio. So that's how we ended up working for them. And that's how we came here. So, but I didn't really want to go. I didn't want to come here. I was even though the life was very hard in Russia at that time, it was 1995. But I have my parents, I had my job, I started going to school again. So I was happy. But then when he said, come on, okay, well, I'll try. I'll give it a I always can go back. If something, I wouldn't burn the bridges, I'll just go back. But as soon as I came here and I saw the life and how men treat women, and they throw the garbage out and they can cook, not like in Russia, a lot of men, they just lie on the couch and watch TV and read newspapers, and women do everything else. When I came here and I saw big differences, and I liked it, and I said, I think I'll stay here.
Nice. So the transition from Russia to the U.S., other than the eye-opening experiences, would you say in general it wasn't as big of a hurdle as you thought it might be? Like, what were some of the transitional things, like interacting with people or getting work or whatnot?
Well, yeah, first of all, you do get a job. I came here and I right away got a job. And meanwhile, I couldn't teach yet because I still didn't know language. I didn't know syllabus. So we were spending a lot of time in the studio training, all that, but we're still getting paid for this. So it was like a security, so we can afford our living and food. So that was exciting. Nobody ever paid me back there just sitting and trying to learn how to teach people.
Right.
And of course, the people are different. People smile here on the streets. They open the door for you. I mean, there's all kind of people anyway, of course.
Right.
But altogether, it was just, you go to the store, and if you ask some questions, people actually trying to help you to find something. Whereas in Russia, no matter what store you go to, if you ask the question, they yell at you and they say, well, get out. And so you really, yes, they never saw the client here is always right. Their client is always wrong. So I always felt very nervous going to the stores back there. And we're here, picking up the phone is very hard for me still. Even, I was always nervous that they're going to start yelling at me, things like this. So, here's much more open and more relaxed. And people do smile on the streets. Where there, people look like they're about to kill you. All the time, they have this grumpy faces, everybody's trying to survive. Of course, people inside are very good and kind. When you already know people a little bit closer, they'll give you anything, they'll sit you at the table and give you everything they have. But the first expression, that facade on the face, it looks like everybody's so angry and mad, and they just, they want to kick you.
So, first of all, I want to say, I think America is grateful about your choice. We're happy that you decided to come and stay.
I'm very grateful too. This is my country. It's my chosen country. I wasn't born here. And at some point I was confused and I didn't know where am I belonging to. I was born there. Russian is my first language and my whole family and relatives are there. And here I am. It's not my language. It's not my food. It's not my anything, but I feel so comfortable here. So I was torn apart for a long time. Even when I already got married and I had my child, I still was torn apart. Well, what am I? Who am I? Where do I belong to? So it's really scary question sometimes you ask yourself in the middle of the night.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So you came to America. We're so excited that you did. So what was next in the dance journey? What happened next? How did that progress into the name that you have built for yourself now? Like what was next?
Right. So when I came here, I was still doing 10 dances back there. But when you come here, now everything is more expensive. It takes more time. So you have to choose one program, either Latin or standard. And since my ex-husband was better in standard than in Latin, he was tall and skinny, and he doesn't have a lot of flexibility, it was chosen to do standard. So we did for about a year, just standard, not Latin. And I was deep down, I was dying because Latin is my thing. Mm-hmm. I love speed. I love, craziness. And in standard, you're a little bit too uptight. You're standing in the same position the whole time. And yes, you can turn your head and smile, but that's pretty much it. But either we got divorced because there wasn't very good marriage. And so and I had long hair, and as soon as we got divorced, I said, all right, I'm doing Latin. So I cut my hair short, turned it black, and I was like, I don't want to do standard. So right away, I go to Latin, I found a partner, and we just started dancing. In the first competition in about 3-4 months, we're going to compete to one of the biggest competitions before nationals, and we win it.
Oh, man.
Everybody, I was like, who is that girl? She's so fast. We've never seen anybody so fast. So that's how it started. And then we go to nationals, and we were right behind the finals, and we are very successful. We do so many competitions, but then we break up because, people don't get along sometimes. Then I find another partner. Again, we dancing, don't get along. We are now in the finals as well, getting second, third place. Again, breaking up. Then end up with Tony Davalani. Tony Davalani from Dancing with the Stars. So then we dancing a lot. We're getting along okay. We're doing a lot of competitions. Going to nationals, win it. So now I'm rising star, national champion. But again, we didn't get along, broke up. So, and it's about 2000, yeah. So that's the problem. Like I couldn't find a partner, long-term partner. They were all good, but something wasn't working. So on and on and on and on till 2003, when I decided I cannot do this anymore. I want something else with my life. So I stopped. And then I had family.
You stopped competing, but you were still dancing and.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I never stopped dancing. So, yes, I stopped competing because I was feeling like it wasn't fulfilling me. I wanted something else. I wanted family. I wanted children or child, at least start with one, and see how it's going. And if I want more. But meanwhile, I was still dancing. And the thing is, I was dancing this time salsa. I had a partner who said to me, I always wanted to dance with you. Can we do salsa? I said, heck yes. I love to dance. So we started traveling overseas. We went a lot to Europe, Eastern Europe. We did a lot of shows teaching salsa. So then we broke up. Okay. Then I started doing dancing smooth. I had a partner. I was practicing in smooth with him for a while. We did a lot of just shows. We would find gigs, make some money. That was great. Then I found another partner. Then at some point I had 3 partners. I had one in salsa, one in smooth, and one in Latin. Kelvin Roche. So Kelvin was my very, very first partner in 1998. We started dancing. And so by that time he wasn't dancing anymore. And he said to me, T, I need to lose weight. Can you help me out? Not a problem. Put your shoes on. So we're going to practice. Week later, 10 pounds off.
Oh my goodness.
But that's how I would start my morning.
Oh my God.
I would do salsa, then he leaves, smooth guy comes, we did smooth, he leaves, Calvin comes, we do Latin. So 3 partners. And then, that was the beginning of the day. But then I still go teach 8 hours teaching, yeah? So, and that's what I did for a while. 3 partners, and I was okay, you know? But then I found another partner, he does in Latin, and I did only Latin with him for a while, for a couple of years. We did a lot of gigs. We ended up even in Mexico, Cancun, and we did a whole bunch of very big showcases. We found an agent, actual agent found me, gave me a lot of gigs. So that was great till I met my husband. Then I stopped for some time, yeah. And I had my child. Should I keep going or you have questions?
I mean, actually, I have a question. So, being a competitor in multiple dances myself, you know, you take coachings and you do all this, and you're always trying to learn and you're always trying to improve yourself. But one thing I've heard, and it's something I've found to be true, but I'd love to get your thoughts on this, is when you're entering a partnership, and for somebody who has, you know, dealt with as many partners as you've had, it's generally the idea that it's the interaction that's more important than dancing. Like, sure, it's good to get somebody who's good at dancing, but those partnerships usually burn bright and then end quickly. But it's the partnerships that last are the people who work together the best or get along the best, and then the dancing develops as they continuously work at it. What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely agree. Of course, you want to, in the first place, you want to find somebody you're compatible, your level, right? Plus, minus, you know, it always can be worked out. But, you know, like if you start dancing with somebody who's not your level, yes, of course, you just stop it right there. But yes, so this is number one. And of course, you find somebody, okay, same level. Yeah, level of dancing is important. But when that is out and you realize, okay, you can dance with this person, but then all these other things, the most important ones, are you respectful of each other? Do you support? It is like a marriage, you know, and, you know, everybody has stuff. So are you willing to work it out together, or is it chauvinistic? Like, I do what I said and you have to shut up. And there's a lot of partnerships like this where mostly men yelling at women, they put them down, and the girls deal with that. Well, that's why I think I had a lot of partnerships, for that reason, that I didn't want to be talked down to, you know. I didn't want to be a puppet, somebody's puppet, or people accusing me of something, you know. If as soon as you start accusing me of something, obviously you are not working on yourself. So so that's why partnership is absolutely equal. It's 50-50. I'm working on my stuff, you're working on your stuff, then we get together, and that's how it works. But when somebody starts training somebody else, then it turns into pro-am. It's a professional amateur, but that's it. That's already not the right relationship. Yes, it's very hard, and that's why I couldn't find that right person. That's why I switched my partnership so many times, because of that. It's like you want to be buddies, you want to be friends. Yeah. You want to be, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah. It's because working on dance in general, you got to put that time in, right? Like, even if it's just a hobby, you got to put practice time in. So then doing a performance, you got to put more time in. And especially with somebody like you who's performing and competing at the highest level, you got to put so much time in. So you're spending a lot of time with that partner. So if it's somebody you're not getting along with,
and it will show. It will show, even though you think you can hide it, but you cannot, you know. If something bothers you inside, when you, at that moment, when you're on the floor, it's all gonna come out. And if you are not happy with this person, it's gonna come out in your facial expression and little connection. You can be little rigid with him. Yeah, you can try, and sometimes you don't even want to, but that's just deep, somewhere in the back of your head is gonna come out. So that's why it's very important. You don't have to be in love with your partner. You know, I'm not in love with my partner now. He's married, I'm married. They have kids, I have kids. But we get along so well. So when we are together on the floor, we're so supportive. You know, we are like one. You know, if he's making some mistake, I'm trying to cover it up. You know, or if I'm he's right there, pick me up. Like last competition, Ireland, I slipped and I knew I was gonna fall because the little piece of the floor was so slippery. I stepped on it and I go, whoa! He was right there. Poof! He picked me up and turned me around and paso, and we got out. I'm like, oh, I would be flat on my face, I promised you, if he wasn't there. So, you know, that support is just, that's the quality. Yeah. And that's why some people, and I believe that those couples who are in the top, you know, for that reason, they find it. They find that.
Yeah, they gel really well.
Yes, yes. Yeah. And compromise, a lot of compromising. Yeah, that's very important.
Nice. David, I don't know if you have any questions, but I want to, like, I love getting this chance to interact with you, right? Like, David, you get to interact with her all the time. This is my first time meeting her, so I want to go back.
Life is unfair.
I come to New York. We can have vodka together and
Oh
interact.
my goodness, vodka! I love it. Oh, I love it. So I want to go back to dance programs, right? Like you had talked about, you had your rhythm, you had your smooth, you had your standard, your Latin, and you even talked about having a Russian folk dance program and so on. How important is it for you when people learn that they learn multiple dances versus people who, I only want to learn like rumba, or I only want to learn salsa? Like, what are your thoughts on that, on cross training versus specializing on one dance?
Right. Well, I do not like cross training as much unless you put a lot of time in it. Okay. So let's say I have a lot of students now who they learning how to do two programs, standard and Latin, right? But the thing is, my problem that if you put couple hours a week, then you are spreading yourself thin. Yeah. And then you don't learn either. So that's why I love people learning multiple dances, but then put 3 hours a day every day for 6 days a week. But if you put only an hour or two a week, don't. Then just do one program, either Latin or standard, you know, because when we were trained, that's how we did. We were training 6-7 days a week, but 3-4 hours a day. Even though we were young, 14, 15, and we're amateurs, you know, juveniles, but it does not matter. Whatever you want to do good, you want to put a lot of time in it. If you want to learn how to play piano or run, or it does not matter. Just a little somewhere there, you won't learn anything, you know. But, and also when people cross training, when they try to do a lot, but they put very little time, I feel like you dig in little holes everywhere. Yeah, I would prefer just dig one big hole, but doing this good rather than and then you are not good anyway, and then you're frustrated, and then you start blaming your teachers. But it's nothing to do with us. No, you know, you'll be surprised how many students don't put any effort, but they start blaming me that I didn't make them a good dancer but they don't do anything. Yeah. So did I answer your question?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's excellent for sure.
So Tatiana, you really raised to the top ranks with so many different partners. I was going to say, there's so many bums you've pulled up to the top, right? I'm joking. And inevitably, sometimes just because, as you said, maybe compatibility, or people are at different points at their career at some point, and maybe they want to retire from competition, or even in your case, it was you want to settle down and have a child. And so there's multiple restarts in a sense when you then find a new partner and start again. And that's got to be quite a challenge because it is partner dancing. And as much as you continue to progress, the partnership is now a new one, and you're having to kind of work out those intricacies. I wonder if you could talk about that a little bit.
Well, it is hard because it's all transitions, finding new everything. You know, every partner is different. Sometimes they're taller than you, or much taller. Sometimes they're almost the same height. So that makes a difference. And you don't realize, like, if I have danced with a very tall partner, I would naturally start pulling up. So I'm much lighter on my feet, so I'm much faster. When if somebody a little bit almost my height, you naturally have that's doing that. And then you become heavier, not heavier, you know, in a way, but just like balance-wise. So that adjustment is very hard. plus connection. Some people like very light connection. Oh, don't pull me, don't push me. What am I? Truck driver? Or some people they don't understand anything, and then they start pushing and pulling you. So you struggle with this, trying to survive. And luckily, I have very strong legs, so I would always, no matter what, my teacher always say, "You're like a cat. No matter how much you can throw you still end up on your paws. You're still on your feet." So it's hard to throw me off, but it's a lot of energy spent, and you don't want to dance like this. So there's a lot of different partnerships because of that, right? And so, if you have some partnership and you already figured it out, okay, that's how I have to dance and that works for me, boom, you break up. Now a new person. So now, as soon as you start with somebody, you set back a little bit, like all the qualities you have, somehow you lose and you go back to your old habits. And then it takes time to get back again, and then, okay, feel good and comfortable, but also refining yourself, because you're readjusting for everything: height, width, length, everything. Yeah. Personality. In my partnerships, they were always trying to change me, because something was working for me always. I know, like I'm very fast. I'm very fast, right? That was my forte, speed, because there are other things I have to work on. But that's something I had. People trying to say, "Oh, you're doing too many turns. Well, let's just slow down. Instead of 3, let's do 2." And that somehow was making me a different Tatiana. And that's why I was losing what I'm good at. Because I don't know why they were trying to change me. If it works, why to change, right? It's already good. Let's find something else. So I found it a lot in my partnerships that people were always trying to change me. "Oh, you're too smiley. You're too great. You're too crazy. Let's just yeah, right?
Yeah,
so let's just
feel
tame
like
you."
It's not true, Tatiana. You're just crazy enough.
So you see what I mean? What I had to deal with, and that's why I knew, like, next. So yes, it is complicated. It's very complicated. Yeah.
So aside from all the competitive dancing, there are a number of really cool, fun things you've done through your career. Tell us about the David Letterman show.
Ooh.
Ha! All right. So they called the studio dance sport. I was a dance sport that time. I mean, I didn't meet David Letterman in person, unfortunately. It would be fun, right? But the David Letterman show called Dance Sport, because it was a big name, and they were like, "All right, we're looking for somebody to teach Rupert, who owns the Hello Daily that time, teach him how to dance." And the manager at that time, she said to me, right? So she called me and she goes, "Tatiana, would you like?" Yes, I'll be there.
Right.
So Rupert came, and Rupert had no idea where he's going. I talked to him and I said, "Rupert, why are you wearing sneakers and you're wearing shorts?" He goes, "Listen, they call me almost every morning and they say to me, 'Okay, Rupert, be at that address at that time, that's it.' But they never tell me what I'm going to do." One time, he said, they called me and they put me on the plane and they took off, and then he said, "Okay, Rupert, now you're going to jump." So Rupert never knew what he's going to do. So same with this dancing. He just came in sneakers, and they were like, "Okay, here you go. He's your student." I'm, "All right, we're going to deal with that." So it took us about 4 or 5 hours, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yes. I mean, of course, the piece is very short. It's just a couple minutes. But yes, It took us about 4 or 5 hours teaching him how to dance. I had to do little choreography with him. And he kept stepping on my feet because he had sneakers and he had 2 left feet. And then we did a little like group class. We had to do this, and then we did a little interview. So altogether it took about 5 hours. But David Letterman, he even asked him about me, if you saw the piece, and he said, "Oh, do you remember her name?" He goes, "Tatiana."
On national television, David Letterman said, "Tatiana looks hot."
That was very cute. Nice job. And the instructor, boy, she was kind of hot, huh?
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, is it like happening, huh? Am I right? Was she happening?
She was.
Yeah. Do you know her name off the top of your head?
Yeah, Tatiana.
Tatiana.
Yes.
Oh, very nice. Did you enjoy Tatiana? Was she nice?
Yeah, she's fun to dance with.
Did you invite her back to the deli?
No.
Come on, would you like to come back to the deli? Well, anyway.
That's crazy. I had no idea that they just sent him to you. Like, you see the clips, right? And you interact with all that. I had no idea that he's just some random dude that's like, okay, I'll go to this address. Oh, all right, it's dancing or it's snake handling or whatever randomness they would put him in. That's kind of funny. So speaking of that, what was one of your fondest memories of either competing or performing? What was one of your favorite moments?
Yes, winning Rising Star Nationals in Miami in 2000 with Tony Davalani. That was absolutely a highlight because we didn't expect it winning. The couple we were competing against all year round, they were beating us in every single competition before that. And we did a lot of competitions. So when we came to Miami, we knew we were going to win. But we thought, oh, we're going to be somewhere in the final, right? So we got, and the competition was big. It was so many couples and everybody was so good. This year particular was so, it was like first round or even second round. So it was about 60, 70 couples. So it was pretty big comp. And we got into the finals, we danced in cha-cha. At the very beginning, Tony hit me right in my nose with his elbow. And I started, first, I started crying, but I still had, and I think that also helps me sometimes just go, and I got very focused because that's how I was trained in gymnastics, like very focused. No matter what happens, you just have to keep going. Maybe that did, I don't know what it did. But anyway, so we danced all 5 dances. So then now we're standing, we're on lining up to go get results. We're on the stage behind the curtains and I start crying. Tony goes, what happened? I said, you hit me in the face. We didn't even apologize. He goes, oh, all right. Yes, I forgot. I'm so sorry. So I'm just crying. I'm like so upset. I didn't dance good. And we going on the stage and they calling 5th, 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd. Okay, second place is, we thought, all right, it's us, we're about to go. And they were like, no, from New Jersey, couple from New Jersey. We're like, oh my God. So that was surreal, okay? There's nothing close to that. I mean, in dance world, of course, I know having given a birth to my daughter and getting married, that's other things which were in the top list of my highlights, but yes, winning this comp is absolutely nothing even close to this. And then they did the whole documentary. They were following the camera everywhere, the competition. And then they came to New York and they followed me everywhere in the studio. I was teaching. My brother was here from Canada. He was living in Canada at that time, but he worked in Cirque du Soleil. So they caught him. They're like, wow, what a family. You know, he's a high diver. He's world champion in high diving and Cirque du Soleil, and so they were all happy. They were excited, so they did a great documentary. So that was very exciting.
That's very cool. So Tatiana, you do so many different dances, like an insane amount of dances, right? Smooth, rhythm, international, Latin, and so on and so on and so on. Do you have either a favorite program of dance, or do you have a favorite dance? Or is it just constantly changing because you do so many different dances?
I have a favorite dance, which is samba, and always was. As soon as I start dancing, that was always my favorite dance. In standard, I love Viennese waltz.
Okay.
Oh, and
is that because of me?
What?
I asked, is that because of me?
Yeah.
We did a Viennese waltz together.
Big part of it, yes. You made
Nice.
me feel so dizzy every time. So I was like,
your face tells the truth. I'm sorry. Okay.
Right. Yeah. We did have a showcase with David not a long time ago, and there was waltz and Viennese waltz. Yeah. That's why
I can tell you're excited about that.
that's why I found my love for Venice Waltz. Yeah, Vietnamese.
Did you see her look away like it was such a traumatic experience that just the memory caused her the pain?
Say dramatic or traumatic?
Yeah, I was carrying him around. Imagine me and him. I was picking him up and carrying him. And people was like, how do you do this?
Another bum she was
and
pulling
planks.
along. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
So,
God.
Go ahead.
So right. So when I was competing both, yes, Venice was always my favorite and samba. But in social dancing, salsa is absolutely my favorite dance. Absolutely.
Nice.
Because it's a lot of turning, it's a speed, it's change of directions, it's just craziness, you know.
Yeah, that would make sense getting to know you. You're a very powerful, very explosive, dynamic energy. So a dance like salsa, that totally seems to fit.
Oh yeah. And I usually lead those guys. They trying to lead me, but I do back lead them. They told me one turn. I'm like, what is one turn? What's wrong with the 3 turns, please? Like, okay.
Oh, that's amazing.
So, Tatiana, I know you were involved in some other reality TV gig.
Ooh, yeah.
I think the audience would love to hear about that.
Am I?
Weren't you?
Which one?
You've done so many things, Tatiana. I feel like we probably have done our best to look at things you've done in the past.
Well, in the past I did.
That's what I mean. What was the reality TV thing that you
into character?
Into character. Yeah, tell us about that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was a while ago.
We lost you. That's an interesting look, though.
Yeah, right. I dig it. Tatiana, are you there? We seem to have lost you. Oh, and there we go. So we've lost connection with the amazing Tatiana Keegan, right? But I gotta say, doing this interview or having an interaction with her, David, she's your one of your instructors, right? Or maybe even your main instructor. So you interact with her somewhat regularly. I
do. I was going to say somehow we managed to both maintain some level of sanity, although it might be not all that much.
You know, I'd give you credit for that because not in a bad way, but in the greatest way possible. She's so electric and so bubbly and so explosive. I can easily see having a game plan at the start of any interaction and then it naturally going, who knows where it's going to go. Like we were going to work on Viennese Waltz today, but polka's just really awesome or something random, right? Like, yeah.
She's really wonderful and actually very focused usually, right?
Oh, hey, look at this guy.
Yeah, well,
Tatiana, you've changed.
I did, because I'm taking over the interview now. How come nobody wants to ask me any questions?
Yeah,
okay, my earliest childhood memory.
Actually, we're still recording, so I would actually love to ask you a question.
No.
What is it like, right? What is it like interacting with Tatiana day in and day out, seeing the side of it that the public sees and then seeing the side of it that the public doesn't see? Like, what is it like interacting with her?
My favorite moment is you see her incredibly glamorous in these sexy outfits and doing this incredible dancing like this goddess. And then she comes home and she's on her hands and knees with shorts and a t-shirt on, scrubbing the floor. I love that contrast. It's like from one extreme to the other.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
No, well, you don't want to be near her when she's getting ready for the competition. She's very focused.
I enjoyed that you looked off camera at her to be like, do I mention this? I'm not sure. Like, I love it. I love your guys' interaction.
And afterwards, she needs a shot of vodka.
A shot of vodka. This is multiple times vodka's come up. What is Tatiana's vodka of choice?
Grey Goose? I can't remember.
Oh, fail!
Actually, no. Now she drinks cognac. She doesn't even drink much vodka anymore.
Okay.
Sounds like I drink all the time. I don't.
Just a voice from the background. We're making her out to be an alcoholic, and she's like, "I don't. Hold
My
on."
favorite is syrup.
Listen, you guys, I'm still in my pajamas, okay? I haven't put my contact lenses in to make myself look beautiful. I'm out of here, all right?
you
Get
look
out of
fine.
here. Give us Tatiana back.
Get out.
Yeah.
That's my chair. It's my spotlight.
Later, I'll get dressed up and we'll do my interview later, okay?
I dig it. I dig it.
It's my spotlight. He took it away. So back to Into Character, right? So at some point, I forgot which channel it was. They were looking for. They were doing different skits on very famous movies, like Rambo. No, Rocky. Sorry, Rocky with was.
So the premise of this reality TV show was, well, maybe you could explain it to us, Tatiana.
Right. It was like this. In our case, it was Dirty Dancing. You have to find somebody who wants to do that, who knows everything about this movie, but never danced in their entire life. And in 2 weeks, you have to make them being good dancers and dancing that whole routine like it was in the movie.
So the program was, you take someone who's obsessed like with a given film
Right.
and wants to reenact it.
Right.
And in the case where you were involved, it was someone who was just enthralled with Dirty Dancing.
Absolutely.
And wanted to recreate.
Yeah, this woman, she knew everything about Dirty Dancing from when she was a little kid. In her room, all the posters from this movie, but she never danced in her entire life. And then
Oh wow.
she was about to get married, and so her fiance and her were picked to be taught this number. And that's what me and Calvin, that time, Calvin Roche, my partner, we were teaching them for 2 weeks. That scene, that last scene in the movie when they're on the stage, but there were other people involved in this training, like there was a personal trainer was involved with them, so they were making them do a lot of running and push-ups and all these exercises. And there was another person who was teaching them etiquettes, like how to behave, how to be sexy in a way. Yeah, so they were taking them to different nightclubs and they were making them do, and they're both literally like truck drivers. She was working in some engineering company and he was in construction company. So neither one of them have anything to do with the dance.
Oh man.
So in 2 weeks, yeah. And they did have 2 left feet. Oh my God, the guy is big. He was just tall and big. He was just huge guy, and he had no idea where to find his left foot. So that's what we had to do for 2 weeks, trying to figure out. And I don't know if you saw the clip, but they did it. They did it. And we did once whole day was spent in a swimming pool, teaching them that lift, just like there was in the movie when they are in the ocean, I think, and he's picking her up over the head. So we spent whole day in the swimming pool. And because it's easier with the water, pick you up and that was the most hysterical time. I remember it till today. It was so funny. We were laughing so much and so hard, and I was laughing so loud the whole time.
I bet.
It was like picking up a seal over the head, and they were falling, and she was falling, he was falling, and so yeah, that was the piece, and it was fantastic. It was really a lot of fun.
I think that's one of many different hairstyles I've seen you had over the years. Because I was thinking, you talked about how you had numerous partners over the years in different phases of your career. And I wasn't sure if you've had more hairstyles or partners, because I've seen you as a brunette with short hair. I've seen you as a blonde with long hair. I've seen you as a redhead. I saw you a couple of years ago. We were at an event and Tatiana sees me in the distance and she's waving at me. And I'm seeing this person. I did not recognize her. and Tatiana and I have been working together at this point for, I don't know, years. And,
at least 7 years, yeah.
Yeah, and she's waving at me, and I'm like looking behind, saying, "Who's this person?" She looks kind of familiar, and I didn't know who she was. And you had your hair all like in these tight braids. right?
Right.
I forget what that hairstyle is called, but
Right. French braids, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Which is your favorite hairstyle?
oh, there it is.
That's my
Very
favorite.
nice. It is
You
my
know, I
favorite.
never had blonde. I mean, I didn't have a lot of hair colors. Most of my life I had black bob, and then blonde is just recently from, you know, when I stopped competing professionally and I thought I was done in 2013. And I thought, you know what, I always had short and black, but I'm so tired of it. So what color can I have? And people said to me, never blonde. It's not, blonde is not good for you. You're not the blonde person. Blonde is usually cute and nice. And you, with your personality, you're like a horse. You cannot have blonde hair. You know, that just won't suit you. And your skin color, no, you don't have a good skin. So blonde won't go with you. Said, all right, well, what should I do? I mean, I don't want to go natural. That's too boring.
Right.
Maybe red. And then the girl who started doing my hair, she's a dancer too, and she knew who I am, and I was like, I know exactly what you need, highlights. So let's try it. So we did highlights, and it was not. So well, why don't we do blonde? He goes, no, let's just try it. And then we started doing blonde, and I realized, wow, it actually suits me. I mean, I don't know. That's what I think. Does it really suit me? You know, do you have to be Marilyn Monroe, nice and cute and TBDD? You know, or blonde can be somebody.
Honestly, I think as far as it goes with the hair, for you, your personality is so amazing. I think you can pull off whatever the heck you want.
Thank you. That's what my husband said. He goes, you can look good in potato sack, and I don't care. So the blonde has been already for like 6 years, and I'm absolutely in love. This is the longest I've ever had my hair. I never had that long. Even when I was a kid growing up, it wasn't that long, and I love it. And when I compete, I don't put it in the bun. You know, I just leave it ponytail. I mean, I do some crazy stuff here, but I always leave ponytail because it helps you when you dance and something is moving. It gives you some kind of action movement, and it doesn't, because when it's a bun, it's so tight and you turn and it's just too, you know, too stiff.
Come on now. We know the truth. We know the truth. We know that it's a long ponytail, so when your partner messes up, just a quick head flip and you can whip them.
Yes,
we did it.
I do this. Right, on purpose. And then, or a lot of times, you know what, it goes into his mouth and he goes,
oh man, and it's all sweaty and it's all right there. And he's like,
yeah, because he catches me sometimes and he drops me and he goes into his face and he goes.
And then you get the pictures and they're making this face. Oh my goodness.
So Tatiana, now, I know you were competing, like 20 years ago, and you did that for a while. And at some point, you stopped competing, as you described, to start a family. Sometime after that, you decided to come back to competition. I know at one point you were competing with a previous guest of ours, Nikolai Spakov. And I think at some point he wanted to retire from competition. And in the last year, you started a new partnership, and you've been, in a short time, again, very successful. So you and your partner are now national champions. Tell us about your partner.
The last one?
The current one.
Yeah, the current one. Anatoly Schwartz. We know each other way back. So when I came to America 24 years ago, him and his wife, Renata Schwartz, they were dancing. So we were competing against each other. So that's how far back we go. And then they did dance for a while. Then they stopped in 2001, I think, or two, to start the family. They wanted both go back to school. So they didn't dance for a while. And so I didn't see them. I didn't see him. I didn't see her since then. So, you know, it's been like 17 years they didn't compete. And in April 2018, I was looking for a new studio to teach in Manhattan, because the studio stepping out where I was teaching, it was getting too crazy. There was only one independent studio where everybody was coming. There was not enough space, and it was really crowded, and my students started complaining. And I was looking and I couldn't find, I didn't know where to go. So finally I overheard that there is a new studio, Ballroom Hub, opening up by Renata Schwartz. I said, oh, great, that's my old friend. So as I'm going there to check it out, I walk in and she's there. And I said, wow, this is a great place. Can I start teaching here? She goes, yes, of course. It's on Fifth Avenue. It's bright LED and they did great. You know, they painted everything. It's very clean. It's a beautiful ballroom. I said, well, great. Okay, I'll come and start doing this next week. And she goes, but I have a proposal for you. I said, what is that? She goes, you know, I judge a lot of competitions and a lot of senior competitions. And I was thinking, you know, my husband can go there and look as good. And I thought of you. Would you like to dance with him? I said, hell yes. I'm looking for a partner. I don't have a partner right now. My partnership in Standard and Smooth is almost over. I don't want to do Standard, but I'm looking for somebody in Latin, but nobody wants to dance. No one at that age. So 40 something, everybody already done. They have their own studios. They buy their own competitions. They put the shoes on the shelf. They do pro-am. But nobody wants to go again and practice and compete or do shows. Nobody. And she said, my husband will dance with you. But she said, he didn't dance for 17 years. So he didn't do a bit of it. So he's out of shape. He's got high blood pressure. He's on medication.
Oh man, she's just setting you up, right?
Yes. I said, well, okay. She goes, what do you think? It's okay. Just I'll give the benefit of the doubt. Bring him over. Mm-hmm. So then a week passes by. I didn't hear from her. So I'm sending her text. So when are we having tryout? She goes, oh, okay. I have to talk to him. You're still gonna talk? Come on. So she talks to him, and she calls me. She goes, guess what? Anatoly went to buy the shoes, Latin shoes. Oh, great. That's good news.
Start.
So he comes in, and when I saw him last time, he was skinny with a lot of hair, right? Black hair. He had ponytail. Here he walks in, 9 months pregnant with a big belly, no hair. He's bald. Like, well, okay. But I was like, all right, well, we'll try. Let's go do Roomba. So we're dancing, and he's so out of shape, and he's breathing very hard and all sweating, changing like 3 t-shirts over an hour. I said, so what do you think? He goes, I would like to dance. I said, well, all right, well, let's give it a try. So we just started practicing about April 2018. We just started practicing. We're just trying to put 5 dances together, practicing about 3 times a week, 2-3 hours at a time. He totally got hooked. I wanted to dance. So we started going, and we're still just dancing and putting routines together. So Renata, his wife, goes to me, all right, now what's next? I said, no, nothing, that's it. I'm happy, he's happy. She goes, no, you have to do something else with that. I said, but what? Because you have to go back and compete. No way, I don't want to go back. Again, all this stress, money, traveling, you know, and so much money, you know how it is, paying for lessons, paying for costumes, paying for air trips, for hotels, for shoes. I mean, you name it, thousands and thousands, you know, entry fees. I said, I don't think I can afford it. And frankly, I don't want to be that stressed out anymore, because before the competition, you never sleep good, you don't eat good, you're so nervous, you know, all that. I was like, I don't think I want to do it anymore. But she goes, well, just think about it. I was like, okay, I'll think about it, but I don't promise. I don't think so. And then I called my husband and said, honey, what do you think? He goes, well, look, I'll support you 100%. You know that. But what do you think? I said, I think deep down, I do want to go back again. But, you know, it's not even physically. It's more emotionally, being prepared. Because it's, you know, it's all mind games. You know, like in dancing, I believe it's about 15% or 20% is physical, but the rest is mental, you know? So it's very tiring, preparing yourself mentally. But I said, all right, well, okay. So I came back next day. I said, okay, Renata, I'm ready. She goes, okay, when is the competition? Whoa. I don't know. I just said in the future I would like to compete, but don't push me. I don't know. So then she goes to me, okay, well, look, if you really want to start it, then you do it now. Because so that was right about January of 2019, and she goes, if you wanna, you have to do nationals, and nationals are about around the corner in March in Utah. You have to go there and you have to dance, because if you want to get good places, and most likely you are going to get first or second, then you can go to the World Championship, represent America, and they pay it for you. So you have to chop, you know, we need to get ready for that nationals, so buy tickets. So I was really pushed against the wall, because I thought I was going to compete, but I didn't know when. But then, and she goes, and there is a competition right here in New York in February, New York Dance Festival. So that would be your first, you know, comp. You're just going to go out and try to feel what it feels like, and then go to Utah, and then most likely you're going to go to the Worlds. I said, all right, have no choice. So that's how we started dancing. So we did February, we came out, we danced pretty well. And then we went to Utah to nationals, and we won both in senior 1, which is 35 plus age, and senior 2, 45 plus. So we won them both.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. So we got $2,000 towards reimbursement for the World Championship, which was, we just came back from Ireland in Dublin.
Okay.
So that's it. That's how we start dancing. We start competing seriously, taking lessons and making new costumes and practicing. And Anatoly lost a lot of weight.
He did. I don't think I saw him at the complete before picture, but he's looking pretty fit.
Yes, much better, right? He didn't grow the hair back though, so that's not. But we lost a lot of weight. But that's okay. You know, I told him just buy a toupee and put it on. You know.
Oh, you're awesome! Is that why you grew it out long, so you can help out your partner?
Right, you know, your hair? Compensation. You know, sometimes you don't even know people do, like they bald hair and they have a big beard. You know, they compensate. They don't even realize this, right? So that's what I do. The shorter is his hair, the long is mine.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Remember, compromise, partnership, that's all about
right.
it.
Working together.
It's
Tatiana, before, I've got to go soon, but before I go, first of all, I want to say you said something earlier that, as I get to know you, I think described you perfectly. Earlier on in the beginning of this talk, of this interaction, you had said something amazing like, no problem, put your shoes on, right? Like as you were talking to somebody, let's go ahead and do this. And that just totally is your personality. Like whatever it is, like even now as I listen to this story about your current partnership, it's like, okay, let's go. Let's hit the ground running. I absolutely love it. One thing I've been dying to ask you is, where do you find inspiration? Are you a self-motivator, or is it dance related? Is it non-dance related? Like, where do you draw your inspiration from?
Well, it's all internal. It all comes from inside, of course. I think I just got lucky. I mean, look, I've been, it's not that I was always like this. I was depressed at some point, and I was struggling for a while because I was in an abusive relationship, and I was struggling with panic attacks. You know, I was depressed, so that was all very hard, and I didn't have any motivations, but I never stopped really. I always believe that you have to keep marching, and you don't want to wait. I believe like this: you don't wait till the right moment comes and you feel happy, then you'll start doing something. I believe you start marching and things start happening. Okay, I think that's what it is. So this motivation, inspiration, it's within you. I believe this is, I'm not looking for outside, or somebody's going to make me happy, or somebody's going to press some buttons in me, and then I'll be, you know, I'm very, I guess it's I never really thought about this, but I just keep marching. I'm not a quitter. I never give up, no matter how hard life was. There were moments very tough, but I would get up or get off the bed and start doing things, and then it's all coming to you. You know, you just have to keep doing. And I do run. That's another thing. I believe in endorphins, and I believe in all these chemicals do a number on you. So sometimes I wake up Sunday, for example, and I put the shoes on and I go running. And it does do a number on you. So I'm a physical person, so I believe that physically you have to do something for yourself, because sometimes when people are depressed, they don't know where to run, what pill to take, or you know, what doctor to see or therapist. I believe that you have to put the shoes on and go do something physical to bring your endorphins up. And that is a chemical which makes a huge difference.
Yes.
So because it's mind and body, they're so connected.
Oh, for sure.
And yeah, so don't wait. Don't sit and wait when the good moment will you feel good. It will come. It won't come. You just have to get up, put the shoes on, and go do some. Either it's a gym or run in the park or take a yoga class, but something very physical. So your heart rate comes, goes so up that starts helping you.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's really
I don't know what you guys have planned, but unfortunately my time is getting really tight and I've got to take off because I've got to go teach all day.
Yes.
But Tatiana, I want to say it was an absolute pleasure meeting you, and I look forward to interacting you with more. And I'm going to come out to New York and I'm going to visit.
Please do.
And come get my butt kicked from you in one of the lessons. Like
I would love to. Yeah, please. Kelly, it was nice to meet you. You're amazing. Thank you.
We really enjoyed this, Tatiana. #1 in the country, number 3 in the world, but #1 in our heart.
Nice.
Yes.
It sounds good, huh?
Yeah, right. It sounds amazing.
Yeah. I cannot believe it's me. What are we talking about? It's the same person. All right. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Thank you so much.